Hello there. So this is another Gumayushi gameplay review. He picks Caitlyn. Alright, so we are in the laning phase right now. He's facing Aphelios and Pyke, right? Now let's check his runes, of course. If anybody wants to know, these are his runes that he went for. Scaling runes and fleet for foot. Also you can take lethal tempo in really easy matchups where you value more scaling over healing and a bit of fake speed. He's playing in Challenger right now. So let's see what he does. Um, we can already see level 2 the game started now. As Caitlyn has superior range over Pyke and Aphelios, she's allowed to bully quite a lot in the lane, the same way as Lux has lots of ranged abilities, so it's really hard for Pyke right now to do anything because his hook gets blocked by minions, right? That's why they are allowed to play this aggressively. Okay. Now in here he slightly didn't pay attention, right? So he had like a slight mistake in here, which can happen even to really good players, right? So he didn't position correctly. He looked to punish with Q, but I wouldn't even use my Q in here because the likeliness is really low that he even gonna hit the Pyke. But in here I do believe he Q'd to shove, right? And maybe he tried to hit um, two birds with one stone. Now in here he had a little bit of a positioning issue. So he had actually a minion cover in here, but that actually recently died and he didn't position accordingly, right? So for example, a tiny bit, right? There was a minion cover against Aphelios' E, and he didn't position downwards, he positioned upwards, which allowed Aphelios to go for a short trade, right? We can see this. So ideally in here you don't want to position upwards, you want to position downwards for a to have a minion cover, because Caitlyn is really long range, so it doesn't matter if you sit in here or you sit in here, you can auto attack the same way it is minions, right? So he had a little bit of a positioning issue. And that's like 100 plus damage, something like that, right? So that's actually the only way even for Aphelios to get some short trades, right? So looks like with the Q, he's positioning correctly this time, right? He positioned between minions, so Pi can't get a hook. Well played on his part. Really well played on their part. And he's trying to push him to hit some auto attacks in, of course, on the Aphelios. He even plays down a trap, so it's harder for Aphelios to wiggle around that area. And even in here he's just shoving. The reason for that he's shoving in here, if you guys don't know it, he has a lot of gold in here. He picks up this wave, he can come back with 2 long swords. Then again, this also allows Lux to buy some items, and this also denies some of the wave from Pyke, which means he may not get level 3, and if Pyke doesn't get level 3, in fact he's level... So we can see Pyke is still level 2 because they shoved that wave. Of course Aphelios soaked the XP and the gold, but the thing is, Pyke couldn't soak the wave that went under tower, which means he couldn't go for a quicker level 3 roam on mid lane because he does not have his W yet. We visibly saw he made his Q and his E, and this denied Pyke a potential early collapse on Italia because she's playing quite deep, right? So he can't really have enough agency on the map if he's not level 3 yet. Because a simple ward or a simple ping can just deny his gank, right? Now the other factor is that the river is warded, so that's like one way he can't really bypass. So now he's looking for some form of invade. He hooked the Lux, of course. So in here they got 1 kill, but he's stepping already up, so he's moving his camera really quick. So watch out what he does, so he can focus on 2 things, right? Let's go a tiny bit, oh what the hell is this leak? So let's go back tiny bit in the time. So in here, so basically look at his expression, right? So he's focusing on last sitting, right? But at the same time his eyes are on the map as well. So look at his eyes. Look, so his eyes, we could visibly see it, that it went downwards, right? His eyes look downwards, which in general means he looked at the map, right? Sideways, it went sideways, right? That in general means that he's paying attention to the map. He's moving his camera, of course, and now he's rotating. Now in here he gets a really easy collapse, of course, auto attacks, misses his E, but he got the assist, that's the main thing. Now he rotates back. Now, as Pyke is dead, the Drake is up as well, of course, right? But Pyke is quite fast at rotating back with his W, with his E, right? Uh, so in here he chooses to slow push, he's not fast pushing, so he can deny as much CS as possible from the enemy pike, right? So in here we go tiny bit back in the time, of course, he denies as much CS as he can from the enemy Aphelios. For example, in here if he heavy shoved the whole wave, he had to give up some of his mana, and the cannon minion wouldn't die, these minions wouldn't die. So right now there is no reason to rush, because Talon is both side as well, which in general could mean that he could also get a gank done if we don't turbo shove, right? So that's another thing to consider. Okay, let's move on. Big wave again. So he heals just to dodge that, and sadly the Lux gets caught. So again, the issue with this is they played a little bit way too deep, right? So simply said, we can visibly see on the map that there is no ward, there are 0 wards, no control wards, no wards. So in here what they should then do, they shove in the wave, that's totally fine, and they should leave it. As soon as they shove it, they should leave it, because Viego has no other ganking options. Top is ungankable, sort of ungankable, because the enemy top is not even on top lane. Mondo is quite close to his tower, is quite tanky, he has his passive. Talia is not in lane, so he's not gankable. There is no real invade potential as well for Viego right now, so most likely he's gonna be on the bot side. So in here, shoving is fine, but trying to get a plate or poke them is not okay anymore, because we don't have enough information where the enemy jungler could be. So they disrespect a little bit the enemy jungler by not backing off or by not warding, right? So that was like a macro mistake, right? So in here he didn't get killed, but the Lux got picked off, right? Which we could then really easily like avoid by not playing overly aggressively, right? Without any wards. Okay. So in here he auto-attacks once that minion, so he can last hit it. He's setting up his last hits, of course. So in here he's getting collapsed on, it's kinda interesting. I'm not sure if they can even kill him, honestly. I don't think so, they should even try to dive. Alright, so let's see what's going on in here. You know, his last hitting, there's not much to say in here.
Nice. 그러면 뭐 패치되는지도 다 나왔어요?
Okay.
18은 아직이고 17은 나왔나 그러면?
No, he doesn't know the patch notes. I think again the same issue shows up, right? Lux doesn't wards at all, he doesn't wards too much, and often like this side is quite empty, right? So they don't exactly know where the vehicle could be. No. So he's fishing for an ult, Pike is trying to face tank it, but he will die if he tries to do so. So in here he's fishing for a Q, of course. He kills the Pike. Oh, that was a really good trap placement, right? Because Pike couldn't really, he was really confused what to do, he couldn't really escape. So I suppose he manages to get out, he will just wall through the wall, of course. Yep, he is out. He's getting out like. And now in here he's building his Gale Force Kraken.
저거 진짜 근거가 있는 거예요?
I like a lot Gale Force on Caitlyn. Having the one extra dash is really great. So he's maxing W second, right? So looks almost his here. So looks is poking, right? And he's positioning aggressively as well. So have you guys noticed one thing? That he literally likes to place his traps in this position. So the reason why he places it in this position, it's harder than for people to like wiggle around. This area is completely cut off, right? So people have to position always like outer, right? Nobody can like position like this and last it anymore, right? Which cuts off some more. One pathing gets cut off completely, right? That's the point of that W. So people can't really walk around that area. And again, there is another trap in here, which is a little bit hidden. So the trap is there, but the tower kinda hides it, right? So that's like a tricky placement for the traps, and I would say even I fall for those type of traps. Right, so the trap is there, it's just not really visible from the tower.
개 무서워. 세주환이. 아.
Really aggressive play on his part. It was definitely well played. Now the reason why he went for that aggressive play in here, right? So pretty much he's above Ophelios, right? And the reason for that is he has a flash up, right? He has a Gale Force up, and his E is also coming, right? Which means that even if Pike or Sejuani shows up, he has some type of flash escape angle, right? And also his teammates are covering him. So if your teammates are covering you, you have your escapes, definitely you should go for this type of aggressive plays on Caitlyn.
오!
He got really badly caught by the Sejuani.
오!
Ooh.
아, 세주환이 언제
Yeah, I
여기까지
mean, it's
돌았지?
not much, right? So much hard engage. Too much hard engage
아이.
from unexpected angles.
무책임해. 운도 박사가 무책임하다고. 세주환이가 자꾸 게임 중단다.
Okay.
어이 아칼리 씨.
I think the issue was that this is one of those solo full compositions, and the problem is, as an AD carry, it's hard to function into that team comp, right? So we have like a tank, right? We have a tank, but the problem is everybody can bypass that Mundo, right? He does not have any straight up CC. So if Akali dives through the front line with her R, it's really hard for Caitlyn to play around it. That's why he went also for Gale Force, right? He really needs that extra dash to function. That extra dash means a lot for Gumayushi. I also noticed he went for a aggressive rapid fire cannon. He's looking to get an assist right now, some damage in of course. Oh, that's a really, oh my god. Are you gonna flash? Oh, it was a well played flash on his part.
왜 이러냐 이 새끼.
That was really well played on his part. He even held into his flash because Akali was looking for Caitlyn's flash, and he exactly could predict. He managed to predict the flash from the how's it called? I mean the ult from the Akali, right? So that was a really good hold on from his part. Let's see what's going on in here. Again, he has to position towards the wall. He's in backwards in here. And he's just basically looking to trap people that get CC'd, right? Okay.
해돌이님이 T1 스트리머 아닌가? 루나미 사망 이즈 버프 끝? 스타카이사 버프? 스타카이사는 이번 패치에도 버프 받았잖아. 이즈트타 카이사는 약간 LPL 쪽인데. 이즈트타 카이사 미포 약간 LPL 쪽이 좀 더 강한 느낌인데 그쪽은.
That's it for now. Have a nice day.